Hello. Was planning on having that up there before it said 3, 2, 1, but we're here. What's good, party people? I'm Lonnie Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate. It is my agenda. Yes, I have an agenda. It is my advocacy to educate and bring forth awareness and knowledge to our community to help heal our community. So I post a lot of content centered around family. I post a lot of content centered around healing our personal relationships, our friendships, our intimate or spousal relationships. I live my life as authentically and openly as I can in front of the camera so that it can demonstrate to others what's possible. I am a fatherless, motherless child, though, both of my parents were in my life at some time. So I don't want that to be offensive to them. And they're like, all right, what do you mean you're fatherless? What do you mean you're motherless? No one raised me. And if either of my parents, one still alive, can have a come to Jesus moment with themselves and admit that they abandoned me. They didn't know what they were doing. They did the best that they could with what was available to them. So no resentment. I definitely went through the healing process of, forgiving my parents. But I created this content for those who know that there's more out there than what they've experienced, but they don't know what else is out there. So this content is geared around letting people know, hey, your life is what you make it, not what's been demonstrated for you. So this morning I was given my next message, which will be delivered upon the completion of Genesis. So we're on chapter 46 today. I believe that there's 50 chapters in Genesis, so I'm excited that we're going to be finishing Genesis today, hopefully. And I'm punctual, so pat on back for sis for being on time. We will end promptly at 1 o'clock because I have class today, so I have to go to class. Welcome everyone to the live. I'm doing my introduction right now. I'm Lonnie Appleton, a healthy family advocate. We are going to read the Bible starting with Genesis chapter 46. So if you would like to accompany me along reading or just listen, I love to interact. So please leave comments. Please double tap the screen so I know that you're out there. Converse between each other. Converse with me. So please leave comments. Please double tap the screen so I know that you're out there. Converse between each other. Converse with me. And I just for something she should have resolved prior to right now. It's lunchtime and she's like, can somebody bring me something to eat? No, go eat school lunch like you always do and plan ahead if you choose. Both of my kids, Michael came in here this morning talking about, somebody needs to pack me a lunch. And I'm like, that should have been done yesterday. You'll have to eat school lunch today. And now Angel's calling me at 12 o'clock talking about, can somebody bring me lunch? No, you can eat school lunch and you need to prepare. So this morning I was given my message to deliver, and it'll be delivered, I guess, the reading session after we finish reading. If we finish today, which hopefully we will, but I mean, Genesis has been so interesting. I know they say they're not stories, but these are snapshots of people's very real lives, and they've been very interesting. So we're going to deliver the message. Is going to be of the people that we've met in the book of Genesis. It is important for us to grid these people into our subconscious and conscious, but definitely our subconscious, to where they're immediately recalled. Because if we grid them into our subconscious and conscious, that means that as we live our lives, we're able to pull their experiences into our awareness and utilize those classrooms. So my message tomorrow or the day after will be about perspective and recovery. So make sure you tap in. I'm here every day at 12 noon. It is 12:07, so 7 minutes ago. I am here every day at 12 noon, and we're reading the Bible and talking about it. Chapter 46. Jacob goes to Egypt. So, and y'all remember yesterday. Joseph revealed himself to his brothers. That was a gay old time. Here we go. So Israel set out with all that was his, and when he reached Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. And God spoke to Israel in a vision at night and said, Jacob, Jacob. Here I am, he replied. I am God, the God of your father, he said. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for I will make you into a great nation there. I will go down to Egypt with you, and I will surely bring you back again, and Joseph's own hand will close your eyes. I need to know when they went home to tell Israel, yo, your son is still alive. I need that reaction. See, they just skipped right over that. I need to know he heard that his beloved son is still alive. Like, them the tears right there. Then Jacob left Beersheba, and Israel's sons took their father Jacob and their children and their wives to the carts that Pharaoh had sent to transport him. So Jacob, all his offerings went to Egypt, taking with them their livestock and the possessions they had acquired in Canaan. Jacob brought with him to Egypt his sons and grandsons and his daughters and granddaughters, all his offspring. These are the names of the sons of Israel, Jacob and his descendants who went to Egypt. Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob, the sons of Reuben, and I'm going to butcher the names, but we're here, right? Hanak, Palu, Hazron, and Carmi, the sons of Simeon, Jamel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, and son of the Canaanite woman. The son of the Canaanite woman. The sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Judah, Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan had died on the land of Canaan. Oh yeah, because of their wife. One didn't want to have kids by Onan didn't want to have kids by Er's wife, and I can't remember why died. The sons of Perez, Hezron and Hamal. The sons of Issachar, Tola, Pua, Jashub, and Shimron. The sons of Zebulun, Sarad, Elon, and Jalil. And I tell y'all, half of my reason why it's taking so long to read the Bible is I got to read all these names. These were the sons of Leah bore to Jacob in Padam Aram, besides his daughter Dinah. Oh, he only had one daughter. These sons and daughters, okay, there are other daughters. Oh, but Leah had Dinah. Okay, I'm with you. Of his were 33 in all. 33 in all. The sons of Gad. Oh, Lord, we done fell into some names. Zephron, Haggai, Shunai, Esban, Eri, Arodi, and Areli, which is cool because I like to see who begat who, because if we figure out who begat who, then we can start paying attention to behaviors. Like, ain't no, what's her name? Ain't no wonder for me why Laban and Rebecca act alike, because they have the same household. I don't know who the parents were, but they came from the same household. So when they both started acting shady, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So it is cool to see who begat who, so then we can tie it back to the household that they came up through, and then we could be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The sons of Asher, Imnah, Ishvi, and Bariah. Their sister was Sarah. The sons of Bariah, Heber and Machil. These were the children born to Jacob by Zilpah, whom Laban had given to his daughter Leah, 16 in all. Oh, because Leah was like, since I can't have any more children, you can have Zilpah, and Zilpah can bear children on my behalf. So that's why he has children by her. The sons of Jacob's wife Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. So Rachel, who he loved, who he did 14 years for. only gave him 2 children, but her womb was not permitted to give forth life until Joseph, and then Benjamin. She died during birth of Benjamin. So poor Rachel. Hopefully she was loved, though. We don't hear much about Rachel except she was beefing with her sister Leah. I understood it, though. In Egypt, Manasseh and Ephraim were born to Joseph by Asenath, daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. The sons of Benjamin: Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gerar, Naaman, Ahi, Rosh, Muppim, Huppim, and Ard. These were the sons of Rachel who were born to Jacob, 14 in all. These are the sons of Rachel. Oh, she had other sons? What? Oh, son. So Benjamin had sons. Joseph so far doesn't have any kids. So Rachel has grandchildren. Okay. The sons of Dan: Hushim, the sons of Naphtali: Jeziel, Gunai, Jezer, and Shalem. These were the sons born to Jacob by Bilhah, whom Laban had given to his daughter Rachel, 7 in all. So when Rachel saw that she was barren, she was like, yo, take Bilhah and make me a mother through her. So that's how that happened. That is the same thing that Sarai or Sarah did with Abraham and Hagar. Here, take Hagar, Havan. Here, take Hagar and have a child with her and make me a mother. She should have learned from great, however many years prior. That's why it's important to tell the truth so that we really can prevent the next generation from making our mistakes. We don't need to hide our mistakes because they can't possibly know that I did this. I think if Rachel would have known Sarah's experience with having her spouse have babies with another woman on her behalf, maybe she would have thought differently. I don't know, but it wasn't a good experience, so I'm not going to reach to that experience before I exhaust other avenues. All those who went to Egypt with Jacob, those who were his direct descendants, not counting his sons' wives, numbered 66 persons. With the 2 sons who had been born to Joseph in Egypt, the members of Jacob's family which went to Egypt were 70 in all. Now that's important. There are 70 people that went with Jacob to Egypt. But of those 70 people, there were 70 people that went to Egypt. And remember, Pharaoh said, just come. Don't bring anything. Just get in the carts and come. Leave everything behind. So they left everything behind and they came to Egypt because Pharaoh was prepared to give them the best of the land and give them everything. 70 deep. That's epic. Now Jacob sent Judah ahead of him to Joseph to get directions to Goshen. When they arrived in the region of Goshen, Joseph and his chariot made ready and went to Goshen to meet with father Israel. As soon as Joseph appeared before him, he threw his arms around his father and wept for a long time. Remember, every time Joseph has cried or wept prior to this, he went into seclusion to cry. I remember talking to a man first Friday in December. I was coaching his son through some difficulties that he was having as far as friendships are concerned and how to actually learn how to play instead of competing against other children. And so I'm talking to the little boy. He's a 7-year-old, I believe. And, he's crying not because of what I'm saying to him, but he's crying because of the situation. The other kids don't want to play with him, and he doesn't understand that the difficulty that he's having playing is because of the way that he's playing. And so he's sitting next to me crying, and here comes Dad, and I'm like, oh, Lord, I'm over here in the corner, and I got his son crying. I was like, what is this going to do? Anyway, it turned out fine. I explained the situation to the father. The son explained the situation to the father. The father explained his perspective to his child, and then he explained his perspective to me. And what he told me was, because I asked him, I was like, do you ever show emotion or cry in front of him? Because he's very emotional and you want him to not be outwardly emotional. Do you show him, is it okay to be emotional, and what are the terms and circumstances? I'm adding more language here. And he pretty much was like, yes, it's okay to cry, but you can't be in the boardroom crying. You know, be strong, hold your ground, and then afterwards, if you must show vulnerability or emotion, you show it privately. So Joseph reminded me of that story and how, when he did show emotion, because no emotion for a king, when he did show that emotion, he went and did it privately. But when he saw his father, he threw his arms around his father and wept publicly. It's pretty dope. Israel said to Joseph, now I am ready to die, since I have seen for myself that you are still alive. That was a terrible thing they did to their daddy. It was terrible what they did to Joseph, but I could understand they ain't really bonded with Joseph the way that they should, being as the whole Rachel Leah beef. But that was real messed up what they did to their daddy. Then Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, I will go up and speak to Pharaoh and will say to him, my brothers and my father's household who were living in the land of Canaan have come to me. The men are shepherds, they tend livestock, and they have brought along their flocks and herds and everything they own. Pharaoh told y'all to leave that stuff behind. Y'all don't follow directions. When Pharaoh calls you, you should answer, your servants have tended livestock from our boyhood on, just as our fathers did. Then you will be allowed to settle in the region of Goshen, for all shepherds are detestable to the Egyptians. Joseph went and told Pharaoh, my father and brothers with their flocks and herds and everything they own have come from the land of Canaan and are now in Goshen. He chose 5 of his brothers and presented them before Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked the brothers, what is your occupation? Your servants are shepherds, they replied to Pharaoh, just as our fathers were. They also said to him, we have come to live here for a while because the famine is severe in Canaan and your servants' flocks have no pasture. Okay, so you got to bring the animals because where they going to eat. So now, please let your servants settle in Goshen. Pharaoh said to Joseph, your father and brothers have come to you, and the land of Egypt is before you. Settle your father and your brothers in the best part of the land. Let them live in Goshen. And if you know of any amount among them with special ability, put them in charge of my own livestock. All right, so Joseph was such an upstanding man and a trustworthy man that Pharaoh didn't even ask no questions. He was like, I trust your judgment. So if you know someone who's right for the job, that's why you got to move in the highest ethics you possibly can, because if people just know they know how you move, then they know that you're trustworthy. But if you shady, people can be blessed through you simply because of the human you are, simply because you're a good judge of character, simply because you're a good person, simply because you have presented yourself in the best possible way. Now others can be blessed because of you. So his whole family of 70 is being blessed because of him. Joseph's entire family, who threw him in a ditch and then sold him into slavery, is being blessed because of him in the midst of a famine. Pretty epic. So Joseph settled his father and his brothers in Egypt and gave them property in the best part of the land, the district of Rameses, as Pharaoh directed. Joseph also provided his father and his brothers and all the father's household with food according to the number of their children. Joseph and the famine. Let's talk famine, y'all. There was no food, however, in the whole region because the famine was severe. Both Egypt and Canaan wasted away because of the famine. Joseph collected all the money that was to be found in Egypt and Canaan in payment for the grain they were buying, and he brought it to Pharaoh's palace. When the money of the people of Egypt and Canaan was gone, All Egypt came to Joseph and said, "Give us food. Why should we die before your eyes? Our money is all gone, especially when it was their food when you collected it in the first place. Like, come on now, now. I don't like that, but I get it. It's business." "Then bring your livestock," said Joseph. "I will sell you food in exchange for your livestock, since your money is gone." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and he gave them food in exchange for their horses, their sheep and goats, their cattle and their donkeys. And he brought them through the year with food in exchange for all their livestock. So their livestock at that time would equate to their wealth. So they literally are trading their wealth just to live. That's some heavy stuff, especially with the direction that the world is going right now. Everybody is, they're pinching us out or margining us out or whatever. They're pricing us out. We can't afford to live. People who make six figures a year can't afford to live based on the lifestyle that was previously a comfortable lifestyle. Everybody's like, "You make all this money, you shouldn't be complaining." Yeah, I went and made this money to afford a comfortable lifestyle according to my standards for self. And now they done changed the game on us. The middle class ain't the middle class no more. You know what I'm saying? And so they're literally, because they were not prepared. This is just a message in being prepared, strategizing, and preparing yourself for anything to come in the future. I know I came up on Dave Ramsey, the Total Money Makeover, and it talks about having $1,000. Actually, that's low rung. It's talking about having 6 months of expenses saved up so that you can prepare yourself for whatever is coming, at least for 6 months, and then you could have figured something out in that time. But most of us are living so depleted that we can't even prepare ourselves for next week. And that's why I advocate so heavily for the family to come into unification so that we can all exist under the same roof if necessary. We're not staying home with mom simply so we can live off of mom. We're staying home with mom because her 20,000, my 20,000, their 20,000, and their 20,000. Now we have $80,000 household. Please stop. I'm on live. Now we have an $80,000 household. Now we can qualify for some stuff. Not, well, I only make $20,000. I got my own expenses. Not only make $20,000. I got my own expenses. No, we collectively learn how to be a cooperative or a collective, which is what we're doing over here. It's rocky, y'all, but it's possible. So if we could learn how to be fruitful and multiply, be fruitful, get our seed out there, which our seed yields fruit and helps us multiply and truly come into our wealth and abundance in this lifetime. I do not think individually the way that we are currently moving as separate from each other. Like, our kids leave and they don't look back. Not mine. My kids love their mama. I made sure of it, but I was well on the road for my kids to turn 18 and be gone forever. But I woke up to it soon enough to save my family. And so right now, all of my family is still under one roof except for one of us. And so it is my vision and my dream for us to have land with homes on it, and we all contribute to that land, and we have generations just like Jacob. We have generations on that land, and we just build our wealth, thinking that we're going to earn enough money in a system that was designed for us to fail in order to establish anything that we can now leave as legacy or will. That ain't gonna happen. Not if we don't come together. And that's what our ancestors knew. That's what, when they went to Africa and they went into villages, how the heck did they get a village if they all were fighting against each other? They had to learn how to live together. It is in our DNA. Before they coded this individualistic separation of the New World America energy, before they coded that in our DNA, our ancient DNA is that of cooperation, is a village, is working together. It's generation and generation occupying the same space. When I was in Jamaica, I saw how they had all this rhubarb hanging from not hanging, but penetrating from the roofs of every house. And the videos back in July, but and I think there's a playlist about our travels. But we had a really good driver to the airport, and he gave us the whole history on the way to the airport. And he said the reason why the rhubarb is there is the previous generation works. They don't deal with banks. They do it all cash. You know, they worked. They bought the land, built the first house, and they put the rhubarb on top of their house so that the next generation can build their house on top. And so the grandparents or the elders live beneath, and the older or the younger family members live on top. And so they just live together generation to generation. Now, I am working towards, with my content, getting to where we actually love and enjoy each other and know how to move like that here in America. Apparently, they know how to do it over there, or at least they got some kind of system. Circumstances in America gives us the opportunity to make enough money and move out and struggle. They don't have enough money to move out and struggle. They got to stay together and struggle. So, but to stay together is the peace. I'm sorry, that was a tangent, but y'all need to figure it out. Heal your families, y'all. That's all we got. When the year was over, they came to him the following year and said, "We cannot hide from our land the fact, we cannot hide from our Lord the fact that since our money is gone and our livestock belong to you, there is nothing left for our Lord except our bodies and our land. Why should we perish before your eyes? We and our land as well. Buy us and our land in exchange for food, and we with our land will be in bondage to Pharaoh. Give us seed so that we may live and not die, and that the land may not become desolate." Everybody out there, this has been so heavy. I know you guys think I'm weird, and I think I'm weird too, y'all. The stuff that I talk about ain't stuff that I sit and contemplate. They're just messages that I'm given to deliver. And it has been so heavy on me to impress upon everyone that is within earshot that you are all subjectable to selling your soul. They keep us so depleted. These people literally said, we will sell ourselves into captivity and slavery. Take our land as your own, take our bodies as your own, and we will be in servitude. Just give us food. Food. All they got to do is deprive us of food. All they got to do is raise the prices. And we going to do anything. Some strange for a piece of change. So we just have to be under the awareness that we play ourselves while we're looking at other people who, they sold their soul, for fame and da-da-da-da-da. What are you selling yourself short for? Let me change it from soul to short. What are you selling yourself short for? Pay attention to that, because we're all subjective. Subjected. It's possible. So Joseph bought all the land in Egypt for Pharaoh. The Egyptians, one and all, sold their fields because the famine was too severe for them. See, a right leader would have said, yo, there's a famine coming. Like all throughout the land, he would have just let everybody know, yo, a famine's coming, y'all might want to buckle down. Some people will, some people won't, but some people would have been prepared. And because, there's great wealth. This reminds me of the guy, what's his name? He bought all the penny stocks during the Great Depression. Old white guy. Warren Buffett. This reminds me of Warren Buffett. He was in a position because he had, maybe some prior knowledge or whatever, but he had at least enough liquid so he could take advantage of all these penny stocks. And when the market changed back around, he was able to become a billionaire off of his investments by taking advantage of the lowest point. We need to stop being a part of the lowest point and being in a position to take advantage of the lowest point honorably, right? I don't know. This is business, Joseph. I get it, but this is some sharky behavior. The land became Pharaoh's, and Joseph reduced the people to servitude. Man, Joseph, I was your buddy until now. from one end of Egypt to the other. However, he did not buy the land of the priests because they received a regular allotment from Pharaoh and had food enough for the allotment Pharaoh gave them. That is why they did not sell their land. This is God has been teaching me about shady deals. God has been teaching me, I'm going to be coming into contract soon and people trying to come in wolves and sheep's clothing. And this is shady. Don't trust nobody, y'all. And I don't mean that in a deceptive way. That just means the only person you could trust is your spirit of discernment. You could trust yourself. And if yourself tells you something ain't right, trust yourself. And if your intuition ain't to where you can trust yourself, get your intuition up. Because we are going into a space. I told my husband and he thinks I'm crazy and I don't care. World War III is upon us, and it will be fought physically, financially, spiritually, all the leads. So they are going to attack us every way that they can, and we must be prepared, whatever that looks like for you. Joseph said to the people, now that I have bought you and your land today for Pharaoh, here is seed for you so you can plant the ground. But when the crop comes in, give a fifth of it to Pharaoh. The other 45 you may keep as seed for the fields and as food for yourself and your household and your children. You have saved our lives, they said. You see how grateful they are? They got the crappiest end of the deal as they could get, and they're just like, thank you so much. Oh my God. You see how depleted they keep us? Pay attention. Pay attention. This ain't just a book of stories. This is telling us. And they are pushing us in that direction. You got to look out your window if you're in America. I don't know about other countries. I'm just talking about what I know. And what I know is they are pushing us to this space of desperation. We are so disillusioned and desperate. They got Donald Trump as the front runner for the GOP. Like, what the hell is going on? I don't know politics and I don't know if that's the correct language, but I read a headline and I was like, how the heck is someone so corrupt? I don't even think he's human. How can someone so corrupt and evil and vile still potentially be our next president? How are we, the people, so morally bankrupt that can happen? Now, I already know that whoever's going to be in the White House is who's placed in the White House, but still. You have saved our lives, they said. Maybe find favor in the eyes of our Lord. We will be in bondage to Pharaoh. So Joseph established it as a law concerning the land in Egypt, still in force today, that a fifth of the produce belongs to Pharaoh. It was only the land of the priests that did not become Pharaoh's. That's probably why churches don't get taxed now. Probably, I don't know. Now the Israelites settled in Egypt in the region of Goshen. They acquired property there and were fruitful and increased greatly in number. Jacob lived in Egypt 17 years, and the year of his life were 147. When the time drew near for Israel to die, he called for his son Joseph and said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, put your hand under my thigh and promise that you will show me kindness and faithfulness. Do not bury me in Egypt, but when I rest with my fathers, carry me out of Egypt and bury me where they were buried. I will do as you say, he said. Swear to me, he said. Then Joseph swore to him, and Israel worshipped as he leaned on the top of his staff. Ain't that awesome when someone gives you their word and they actually mean it? Make sure you're the person that gives your word and you actually mean it. Manasseh and Ephraim. Sometime later, Joseph was told, your father is ill. So he took his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, along with him. Okay, so did Joseph have kids? Oh, yeah. I remember I think Pharaoh gave Joseph a wife. I remember it was like a quick little blip. Here's your wife. So maybe he has kids. When Jacob was told, your son Joseph has come to you, Israel rallied his strength and sat up in the bed. Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and there he blessed me and said to me, I am going to make you fruitful and increase your numbers. I will make you a community of people, and I will give this land as an everlasting possession to your descendants after you. Now then, you two, 2 sons born to you in Egypt before I came to you here will be reckoned as mine. Ephraim and Manasseh are mine. Will be mine, just as Reuben and Simeon are mine. Any children born to you after them will be yours. In the territory they inherit, they will be reckoned under the names of their brothers. So the descendants went down a little bit different back then. As I was returning from Padan, to my sorrow, Rachel died in the land of Canaan while we were still on the way, a little distance from Ephrath. So I buried her there beside the road to Ephrath. This is Bethlehem. When Israel saw the sons of Joseph, he asked, "Who are these?" So Israel wasn't present for Rachel's death. That was probably tough for him. "They are the sons God has given me here," Joseph said to his father. Then Israel said, "Bring them to me so I may bless them." Now Israel's eyes were failing because of old age, and he could hardly see. So Joseph brought his sons close to him, and his father kissed him and embraced them. Israel said to Joseph, "I never expected to see your face again, and now God has allowed me to see your children too." Did you really see them? That was a bad joke, but I was thinking that. I was like, hold on, but you didn't see it. Maybe you felt it? Nah. Anyway, it's a bad joke. I tell bad jokes. Then Joseph moved them from Israel's knees and bowed down with his face to the ground. And Joseph took both of them, Ephraim on his right towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh on his left towards Israel's right hand, and brought them close to him. But Israel reached out his right hand and put it on Ephraim's head, though he was the younger, and crossed his arms and put his left hand on Manasseh's head, even though Manasseh was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said. So, my joke was, he's not seeing them, but when you walk with God energetically, you see all. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. I'm in your presence. I see you. May the God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked faithfully, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this day, the angel who has delivered me from all harm, may he bless these boys. May they be called by my name and the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and may they increase greatly on the earth. When Joseph saw his father placing his right hand on Ephraim's head, he was displeased. Why? So he took hold of his father's hand to move it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. Joseph said to him, "No, my father, this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head." But his father refused and said, "I know, my son, I know. He too will become a people, and he too will become great. Nevertheless, his younger brother will be greater than he, and his descendants will become a group of nations." He blessed them that day and said, "In your name will Israel pronounce this blessing. May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." So he put Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, "I am about to die, but God will be with you and take you back to the land of your fathers. And to you I give one more ridge of land. Then to your brothers the ridge I took from the Amorites will be sword with my sword and bow." So he's giving Joseph some land, and he's giving the other brothers land to share. Per my reading, I don't know, but that's what it seems like. But I'm trying to think. Jacob stole Esau's blessing. The younger brother stole the older brother's blessing. And now Jacob is blessing them, giving his blessing to the more greater blessing to the younger sibling instead of the older sibling. I don't know what that parallel is, but that's interesting. Jacob blesses his sons. Then Jacob called for his sons and said, "Gather around so I can tell you what will happen to you in days to come. Assemble and listen, sons of Jacob. Listen to your father Israel. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, the first sign of my strength." That's why I say our firstborns, they have it all. Like, they have the most pressure because, one, we don't know if we're going to have a second one. And so we're trying to pour everything into them. And that's why they're so stressed, because we're putting so much on them. We want them to be our minis, you know what I'm saying? So our firstborn have so much put on them. Like, Spirit has really been working on me and delivering messages in relation to, the firstborn, the secondborn, or the middle child, the lastborn, so forth and so on. But we have such heavy expectations of our firstborn, so this is just confirmation for me. Excelling in honor, excelling in power, turbulent is the waters, you will no longer excel, for you went up onto your father's bed, onto your couch, and defiled it. What happened? Hold on. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, the first sign of my strength, excelling in honor, excelling in power, turbulent as the waters, you will no longer excel. For you went up onto your father's bed, onto my couch, and defiled it. I missed that story. Because every time they mentioned Reuben, he was the one trying to do right. And then he went on the couch. What happened? Did he have sex on the couch? What happened? Man, I need that backstory. I'm literally, I don't remember Reuben doing nothing. Man, what did Reuben do? I'm going to have to Google that when we finish. They might tell us some more. We got some more reading to do. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Their swords are weapons of violence. Yeah, Leah's boys, they was, if y'all don't know Leah's boys, get to know Leah's boys, because they was about that life. Two of their stories made it in here, where they was wrecking shop. But just know Leah's boys left a legacy. So when he said their swords are weapons of violence, I agree. Let me not enter their council. Let me not join their assembly. For they have killed men in their anger and hamstrung oxen as they please. Now, how do you hamstrung an oxen? I gotta Google what hamstrung means. Cursed be their anger, so fierce, in their fury, so cruel. I will scatter them in Jacob and disperse them in Israel. These are not the blessings I was expecting. I'ma just be real. Like, I knew he didn't like Leah's kids, but I didn't know he was about to come down on their head like this. Judah, your brothers will praise you. Okay, this is better. Your hand will be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons will bow down to you. You are a lion's cub, Judah. You return from the prey, my son. Like a lion, he crouches and lies down, like a lioness who dares to rouse him. The scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until he to whom it belongs shall come, and the obedience of the nation shall be his. Excuse me, I'm sorry. He will tether his donkey to a vine, his coat to the choicest branch. He will wash his garments in wine, his robes in the blood of grapes. His eyes will be darker than wine, his teeth whiter than milk. I'm thinking Judah may have gotten a favorable outcome based on what he was saying, because white teeth are a good thing. Judah, he played some good roles. He was mentioned. Reuben and Judah were both mentioned throughout Genesis once that family line was introduced. And in all times that he was mentioned, it was, him trying to get Leah's boys to just, y'all need to fall back a little bit. Like, y'all wilding right now. It's Issachar. It's Issachar. I don't know. Is a raw bone donkey. Dang. Is a raw bone donkey. They said I could figure out what raw bone means. What's this B down here say? A strong or strong. So they're saying he's a strong donkey. All right. I still don't know if that's a compliment. Let's keep reading. Lying down among the sheep pens, when he sees how good is his resting place and how pleasant is his land, he will bend his shoulder to the burden and submit to forced labor. I don't think it's good here saying you're a hard worker and we gonna work your ass hard. That's what I received. All right, Dan, you're up. Dan will provide justice for his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan will be a snake by the roadside and a viper along the path that bites the horse's heels so that its rider tumbles backwards. I look for your deliverance, Lord. All right, Dan. That didn't sound too good. Let's go, Gad. Bring it home, Gad. Gad will be attacked by a band of raiders, but he will attack them at their heels. All right, Gad didn't get it either. Asher, let's see what Asher gets. Asher's food will be rich. He will provide delicious delicacies fit for a king. All right, so Asher, good looking. Naphtali is a doe set free that bears beautiful fawns. All right, Naphtali, we're looking good. Joseph is a fruitful vine. Oh man, we still got to get the Benjamin. Joseph is a fruitful vine near a spring, whose branches climb over a wall. With bitterness archers attacked him. They shot at him with hostility, but his bow remained steady. His strong arm stayed limber, because of the hand of the mighty one of Jacob, because of the shepherd, the rock of Israel, because of your father's God who helps you, because of the Almighty who bless you. With blessings in the skies above, blessings of the deep springs below, blessings of the breast and womb. Your father's blessings are greater than the blessings of the ancient mountains, than the bounty of the age-old hills. Let all these rest on the head of Joseph, on the brow of the prince among his brothers. Definitely a blessing right there. Benjamin. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. Ooh. In the morning he devours the prey, in the evening he divides the plunder. I don't know, Benjamin. It wasn't as bad as being a donkey. But maybe that's a good thing. A ravenous wolf. Ravenous makes me wonder. But he's devouring his prey in the morning and dividing the plunder. I don't know, Benjamin, but we know that good old Joseph got the blessing of the blessing. All these are 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father said to them when he blessed them, giving each the blessing appropriate to him. That was something, man. The death of Jacob. So that's almost like the reading of the will. You all show up for the reading of the will, and daddy's like, you're a donkey. You're a wolf. You're a snake or a viper. Like, it didn't go down. I don't know. Look, the way they played their daddy, I'm gonna keep it G. Like, we could already read through between the lines that there was no strong bond there. So I'm sure they didn't show up. Like, when my grandmother dies, I don't even expect to be notified that she dies. I'll probably, be talking to somebody or click on Facebook and I'll see rest in peace, doctor, da 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 da. That's probably how I'll find out that my grandmother passed away. And when the reading of the will takes place, I am sure I will not be in it, so these Leah's boys probably already knew, they came out of formality, probably not because they knew something, they expected anything. The death of Jacob. Then he gave them these instructions. I am about to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite, the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre in Canaan. I think that's where Rachel is, which Abraham brought along with the field as a burial place. Okay, it wasn't Rachel, it was Sarah. Sarah's there. As a burial place from Ephraim the Hittite. There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. I remember that. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. Okay, cool. And there I buried Leah. Oh, Leah. Leah's dead. I wasn't sure if Leah was still kicking, but apparently she's gone. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites. See, you remember when I think it was Abraham, right? Yeah. When Abraham was going to bury Sarah, the present owner was like, you could just have it. And Abraham was like, no, I don't want to just have it. I need to own it. Because if you just give me something as a gift, I'm thinking you can just take it back later. But now we see for generations, his family has been buried in this cave, and it's so because he owns it. So just because somebody's willing to gift you something, make sure if it's something of value, you create a space of ownership, whatever that looks like. That's what I learned from that. When Jacob had finished giving instructions to his sons, he drew his feet up into the bed, breathed his last, and was gathered to his people. Man, isn't that a blessing to know you're gonna die? Now, I know that sounds crazy, but everyone that has died so far has been able to say what they need to say and then die. Not like, oh man, I wish I had one more. Like, you don't have any regrets because you're dead, right? But like, wishing you had one more thing to say. And that's why we must live life to the fullest, and we must take advantage of every moment. Every moment truly could be the last moment we have with our loved ones. So we have to make sure that we are speaking life into them. We have to make sure, that last phone call that I took at the beginning of this, where my daughter called me and asked me, about bringing her something to eat, and I had annoyance in my voice. That could be the last time I talked to my daughter. And that's the energy that I chose. So we need to always be conscious. Message to myself. I need to make sure I have water on my altar. Anyway, I just happened to look at the thing, and I haven't been over there in a while, so I'm pretty sure my water's gone. But make sure that we're taking full advantage of the moments, because moments aren't promised. But I do think it's cool that these people are able to live out their time on earth and bless their family before they go, and having those closure conversations. Something that Spirit has been working on me is just to let you guys know to don't be afraid to prepare your family for your death, because it's inevitable. So start having those conversations. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite scent? What's going to be my sign to you that I'm here? You know, this song, when you hear this song, that means I'm here. When you smell this fragrance, that means that I'm near. All these different things. Here's what you can put on the ancestral altar as an offering to me. These are my favorite foods. I have these conversations with my children, so because I'm sitting at my ancestral altar looking at my mom like, I don't know what your favorite food was. I bought some incense, and as soon as I lit the incense, I was like, Mom, like that was her scent. Now I don't know if that was her scent, but when I smelled that scent, it triggered my mom. And I could smell the inside of her purse because I could smell that scent. But I don't want my kids to guess what they can bring to the altar on my behalf. So don't be afraid to have those conversations with your loved ones, to write those things down in your journal. So when they are reading your journal, they also are getting to know you and getting to tap into your legacy. You are important. You're worth knowing now, and you're worth knowing for generations to come. You are someone's ancestor. So take that seriously. Like, you wish you knew your ancestors. You wish you could get into the mind of your your grandmother, but your great grandmother, your great great grandmother, you wish that you could walk a day in their life. Start keeping a journal so that your family can walk a day in yours and can know your intimate thoughts and can grow closer into you. I think you're worth knowing to that degree. Chapter 50. Joseph threw himself on his father and wept over him and kissed him. How many years was he robbed from relationship with his father and relationship with his son? Yeah, I'm going to keep it G. Leah's boys didn't deserve nothing. After they played him to the degree that they played him, there was no love. You can't do somebody like that. That's cold-blooded. Then Joseph directed the physicians in his service to embalm his father Israel. So the physicians embalmed him, taking a full 40 days, for that was the time required for embalming. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. When the days of the mourning had passed, Joseph said to Pharaoh's court, "If I have found favor in your eyes, speak to Pharaoh for me. Tell him, my father made me swear an oath and said, I am about to die. Bury me in the tomb I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. Now let me go up and bury my father, then I will return." Pharaoh said, "Go up and bury your father as he made you swear to do." So Joseph went up to bury his father. All Pharaoh's officials accompanied him, the dignitaries of his court and all the dignitaries of Egypt, besides all the members of Joseph's household and his brothers and those belonging to his father's household. Only their children and their flocks and herds were left in Goshen. Chariots and horsemen also went up with him. It was a very large company. I was thinking that was a sight. That was a sight. When they reached the threshing floor of Atad near the Jordan, they lamented. I was going to say laminated. They lamented loudly and bitterly. And there Joseph observed a 7-day period of mourning for his father. When the Canaanites who lived there saw the mourning at the thrashing floor of Atad, they said, "The Egyptians are holding a solemn ceremony of mourning. That is why this place near the Jordan is called Abel Mizraim." So Jacob's sons did as he had commanded them. They carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him to the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre, which Abraham had bought along with the field as a burial place for Ephron the Hittite, from Ephron the Hittite. After burying his father, Joseph returned to Egypt together with his brothers and all the others who had gone with him to bury his father. Joseph reassures his brothers. When Joseph's brothers saw their father was dead, they said, "What if Joseph holds a grudge against us and pays us back for all the wrongs we did to him?" So they sent word to Joseph saying, "Your father left these instructions before he died." Are they lying? Let's see. Did Israel really say this? Let's see what they say. I don't trust Leah boys. This is what you are to say to Joseph. My allergies are kicking my butt today. That hurt. "I ask you to forgive your brothers the sins and the wrongs they committed in treating you so badly." Was Israel aware that they threw him in a ditch, or just overall bad treatment that Israel was aware of because of Rachel, the sins of their father? Yeah, anyway, those were past ponderings. "Now please forgive the sins of the servants of the God and of your father." When their message came to him, Joseph wept. His brothers then came and threw themselves down before him. "We are your slaves," they said. But Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So then, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children." And he reassured them and spoke kindly to them. Yeah, I'll have to put that in my journal. The death of Joseph. Joseph stayed in Egypt along with all his father's family. He lived 110 years and saw the third generation of Ephraim's children. Also the children of Machir, son of Manasseh, were placed at birth on Joseph's knees. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "I am about to die, but God will surely come to your aid and take you up out of this land to the land he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And Joseph made the Israelites swear on oath and said, "God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from this place." So Joseph died at the age of 110, and after they embalmed him, he was placed in a coffin in Egypt. Was he supposed to be placed in a coffin in Egypt? Or did they put him in a coffin in Egypt and they took him where he said he wanted to go? Y'all, we just read Genesis. Let's pat ourselves on the back. I've read it before, but never with the intentions that I just read Genesis. I learned so much from this. I hope you guys learned a lot from the reading of Genesis. Tomorrow, I'm going to deliver my message in relation to perspective and what we learned, because it is important for us to grid the people who are presented in the first chapter of the Bible, to grid them into our subconscious, so that y'all remember the I don't know how old you guys are, but when I was growing up in my 20s, maybe, I don't know, there was a what would Jesus do, WWJD, whole craze, what would Jesus do? Well, if we can grid the messages that we have received in the book of Genesis, and now we can go through life and be like, okay, based off of what I learned from Genesis and a circumstance, yada yada, however you choose to apply, what would Abraham do? What would you know what I'm saying? So we now have given ourselves X amount of teachers to learn from just by reading Genesis. Everyone that was introduced to us, every circumstance that was introduced to us, now we can put into our database as frames of reference that we can pull from when necessary to get done what we need to get done and to build the life that we know that we came to this earth to do. So tomorrow I will deliver a message in relation to perspective and the overall chapter of Genesis. Those of you who are unaware of me, I am Lonnie Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate. It is my goal to help heal our community through knowledge, teaching, awareness, and sharing. I am available for public speaking engagements. Shoot me a DM. Check out my website, LonnieLifestyle.com. You can pick up your merch. You can pick up my books. I am a twice published author. One of those books being a guidebook to the healing journey. So when I went through my first ascension knowingly, I didn't know what it was, but I documented it. So I have that book, What's the Best That Can Happen, available on Amazon. Make sure you pick up the copy. The seller is Lonnie Taylor. There's other sellers, but to support me, support the content that supports you, make sure the seller is Lonnie Taylor. Hey, Ree. Also, the way that we read the Bible here is, of course, I read and give my opinion. I love when you guys communicate in the chat box, double tapping the screen to let me know that you're there and I'm not just talking to myself. And we journal what we received from today's reading. So what can you push from your conscious brain into your subconscious brain by journaling and writing something that was meaningful to you that you can make connections to. If you miss any of our Bible studies, I repost them on YouTube, Lonnie Appleton Live. So LONEAPPLETONLIVE. So make sure you subscribe over there and check out any of our Bible studies over there. And yeah, have a wonderful day. I have to go to class, and I've linked up with some individuals here that I met through the Wellness Center. I am no longer affiliated with the Wellness Center, but I also understand the Wellness Center was the tool that God used, like Joseph, right? The brothers had to sell him into slavery in order for him to be in the space that he was in. But if he was so, this is my message for tomorrow, let me leave it alone. But if he would have been so focused on the fact that they sold him into slavery and holding resentments there, instead of allowing himself to move into the space of knowing they were the tool, hey Kendra, knowing that they were the tool used in order to put them in the position that they needed to be in, that he needed to be in, then how can I hold any resentments for that? But the point that I want to make is, the Wellness Center, that's all right. Yeah, I'm about to finish now, an hour earlier. But that's all right. I'm going to have a good message for y'all tomorrow. We just finished Genesis, y'all. We just finished Genesis, and I'm really excited for us. We're going to start on Exodus Wednesday. But tomorrow I'm going to deliver a message about perspective. And this is just a little piece right now. This isn't the message tomorrow, because you always know I'm going to have some new material. But what I'm saying is, what was I talking about? I got excited, Kendra. I done forgot. But, Joseph couldn't get mad at his brothers. Boom. Something happened. Something placed me. I was at the Wellness Center, and the Wellness Center wasn't the destination. the wellness center was where I was stopped at in order to pick up. And so I've been studying with, some brothers and sisters, and that's where I got that crazy Bible at. I'm not going to say it's a crazy Bible, but, I'll post a video eventually of this ginormous Bible that I have that, like, is a workout. Like, you going to lift that Bible 20 times a day. You going to get some gains. That's how heavy it is. But, I have to go and meet up with them and study, and I'm excited. I don't even know what the heck is going on, but I finally am in a position. Thank you so much. I'm finally in a position to where I have someone who is willing to teach me. I've had so many people say that they're a mentor of mine who don't teach me anything, but I finally am in a school. So I'm excited. So that is where I will be headed. And I thank you guys, and Kendra and Ree and everyone else that is here that I am unfamiliar with. I know them because they talk to me and they engage with me. And we're building community, we're building sisterhood, we're building brotherhood, and we're building, that village that we all say that we desire. But when we sit silently in comments and we sit silently in lives and we don't make our presence known, then we continue to live in the shadows. So if you are seeking friendship, if you are seeking community, know that I can't speak for everywhere else on the internet, but here we're solid. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't already follow the community, thank you. Hey, Stink. Hey, Stink. Thank you for the love. Enjoy your time. Thank you, Ree. If you are seeking community, if you're seeking more than what's up here and what's here, and people to bounce that off of, make sure you check out our community, follow, share the content, grow the network, because we're only as big as us. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Ish. I never end like I'm supposed to.